Hey everybody, it's Alex from Heavy New York. We are at the beautiful St. Vitus basement. We just wrapped up an awesome interview with Abigail Williams, and now we are here with Wolf King. Thank you so much for your time, Tim.
Yep.
Yep, it's so awesome to have you here. I consider you guys, from listening to you guys before, one of San Francisco's finest in the
Thank you.
modern day.
Yeah.
But Loyal to the Soil is your latest record. How was the making of it?
It was good. It was kind of long. I mean, long in a sense of it took us about a year to write it, but
Okay.
overall it was like really good, and I think it was a sound that we were trying to refine for a long time.
Did since it took a while to make it, did certain changes happen throughout?
Oh yeah. A lot of the songs that you hear on the record, they didn't originally sound like that. A lot of them have been kind of switched up. And
You ever worried you're gonna put the original sound on a B-side record and it'll be the biggest hit you guys ever have?
should put it on the test press or something.
Yeah,
and try
right.
to sell it for $100.
You should, but I get first dibs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But it's awesome to have you guys here because I sadly had to miss you guys when you came to Brooklyn a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But this tour with Abigail Williams is absolutely awesome. Would you say for somebody who hasn't listened to Wolf King before, you kind of have that new school black metal sound to you guys?
Yeah, I would say it's kind of crossed over along the lines of black metal, death metal, hardcore, especially. It's really mixed up in there.
Cool. Is that just because everybody in the band kind of has different inspirations and stuff?
In a way, I think we like a lot of different. We all have a lot of different influences, so
Okay.
I think we like to mix it all in there and not just stick to one core genre.
Yeah.
Just play what we like listening to.
Yeah.
Make
Well,
them-
I'd imagine that allows you to experiment more and tour with different bands.
Yeah.
You're doing Abigail Williams now, but maybe do a tour with Cannibal Corpse or something like that.
Yeah, and just in April we did a tour with Body Snatcher and Distinguisher, who we love, and they're more deathcore beatdown bands,
Okay.
and then we're doing black metal tours and we're doing just heavy metal tours. I think with our style of music we could play with a lot of different style of bands.
Yeah, and now you're going on. You're doing a couple days with Rivers of Nile, which
Yep.
is fairly different as well.
Yep.
But depending on who you tour with, is there maybe a different reaction to your music or a different type of mosh pit?
Oh yeah, of course. I feel like a lot of hardcore shows, they don't know circle pitting, so to say.
No, they know
Even-
a lot of.
Yeah, and even at a lot of metal shows, they don't know how to just throw down and hardcore dance and stuff. So yeah, you get weird reactions, but I think overall everyone digs it because it's a different sound than what you're hearing every night.
Yeah, and it has to keep being on stage interesting, right?
Yep.
You play with the same type of band, it'll probably get boring.
Yeah, it's a good little mix up.
Yeah. Now, being the vocalist of Wolf King, do you need to hear music in order to come up with lyrics, or do you sometimes have a concept and come to the band? I wrote these lyrics, right according to that.
Well, usually Jake, our guitarist, and I will do some lyrics, but usually it's a lot of listening to bands that we listened to growing up, like Converge or Nails or any bands like those, and reading their lyrics and seeing what they're saying, but also just trying to be original, come up with our own stuff. We play a lot of video games too, like Dark Souls or Skyrim.
Oh,
So
my God.
we'll use a lot of those terms and stuff in there, just keep it super medieval, fantasy type of lyrics. But there are a lot of songs that are meaningful, but we reword them to make it sound cool.
You a Legend of Zelda fan at all?
Dude, honestly, I've never really played it. I played Nintendo 64.
Ocarina of Time, man.
I think that's what it was called. I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Yeah, I just booked my Zelda tattoo, and now I almost want to cancel it. I'm so hard.
Are you getting the shield?
I'm getting the Triforce,
Yes.
and I'm getting it right here.
Oh, right in the ditch?
Yep,
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's going to feel good.
definitely. But being a video game fan, I mean, now you could probably do a tour with Power Glove or something like that.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I heard Power Glove on this tour, and I think I heard, man, I forgot what the other band's name was, but they're fantasy metal too. And they're really I'll find out. I'm going to let you know. It's really good.
Cool. So so that could also maybe you could do a show at an E3 convention or something like that.
Oh, dude, that would be so tight.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, so do sometimes maybe you have to play a couple video games in order to come up with vocal
Yeah,
inspiration?
they got to let us play a couple video games first before we play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you are in the recording studio or you're making new music, do you sometimes oh, I can't think of lyrics, let me play Skyrim a little bit?
No, not necessarily. Usually we have all the lyrics done before we go to record. I think
Okay.
it's a lot easier that way. If you have everything already done, you can just go in. It's less time sitting there and like coming up with stuff.
Yeah.
I think if the more prepared you are going into the studio, the better it will be.
Yeah.
You know?
But like, with the making of Loyal to the Soil, was there like a preconceived idea, or did things sort of happen like organically in the making?
Very organically. There was a lot of ideas, and this album, I would say personally, there's not a grand idea behind Loyal to the Soil. Like, there's not one thing that we're trying to focus on. All the songs are different, and it's very organically. All the songs instrumentally, like, they flow together and they're supposed to be going together, like when you listen through the album, but lyrically it's more mixed up.
Okay. So being that each song leads into another, it's definitely like an album where, like, if you skip a song or something like that, you might miss something. Or
In a way, yeah. I mean, we did write that album so you listen to it all the way through, but there are a lot of songs, like even the songs we play in our set, it's not in order on the album, but there are a lot of banger like songs, and they're hard and they're heavy and they're a lot of good riffs and stuff. So I mean, like, I don't blame it because I still do it. I'll like just put on certain songs I like from the album, but yeah, you're like typically just listen to it all the way through.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then finally, what I like to say, because you're a San Francisco band, I mean, San Francisco with the legacy of thrash starting there and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so much more. I mean, is there still like a metal? I was there for the first time last year. I remember going to the Lucky 13 in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And Zeitgeist Metal Bar and all
Yeah.
those places. Was there like a scene that you guys kind of cut your teeth in, or are you a band that kind of goes outside San Francisco more?
No, we're still around. We're still around the San Francisco scene for sure. We're actually playing with Suffocation and Cattle Decapitation at the Oakland Metro, November 4th. We're still we're still around. We still play in San Jose. We go to shows all the time out there. DNA Lounge or Slims or the Oakland Metro and the Gilman and stuff.
So there is still like a great metal scene out there
for sure.
for like local bands. And
Yeah, for sure. You gotta go out and find it. You're not just gonna, you gotta go find it, because there are a lot of shows or a lot of scenes out there that aren't that good, and there's a lot that are really good.
Well, yeah, I've told people all the time, like, in New York City has a happening metal scene, and then that so they think that the second that they cross the George Washington Bridge, it looks like Ozfest, but like the truth is, I think with every scene you kind of have to find it, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, there's a Lucky 13 here in Brooklyn, and they told me about the Lucky 13 in San Francisco. That's how I was able to find it.
Are they related?
No, actually.
Oh, wow.
Like, I guess the Lucky 13 in San Francisco was there first, and they told us, oh yeah, there's a Lucky. They told me in Brooklyn there's a Lucky 13 in San Francisco. They sent us some like shirts and whatever. Go by and say hi. It was like, it's awesome.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's hella cool.
Yeah. So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
You got this tour right now with Abigail Williams. You're hitting the road with Rivers of Nile. You got that Suffocation show. Anything else going on that you'd like to promote?
Yeah, we're also going to be playing the Decibel Beer and Metal Fest in Los Angeles on December 2nd with Yob, Tripticon, Power Trip, a bunch of bands. So those tickets are available online right now too.
Awesome.
That's going to be tight. That's December 2nd.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for your time,
Sweet,
Tim. Everybody, we are here with Tim of Wolf King. Pick up Loyal to the Soil if you haven't already. Catch them on their tour with Abigail Williams, Rivers of Nile, the Decibel Beer Fest December 2nd, and their show with Suffocation and Cattle Decapitation. We'll see you next time in Heavy New York, everybody.
Smoke weed.